Hello, my dear friends. I am very, very glad to meet you again. Today we have an incredible journey. We will go to the magical world of Ukrainian nature and get to know amazing animals that live right next to us. You will find out where they hide, what they like to eat, and what sounds they can make. Are you ready for interesting adventures and new acquaintances? Then let's go quickly. The first animal is the red fox, or you know her as the cunning fox. Our red fox lives almost everywhere. She feels good in dense forests and wide fields, and sometimes she can even be found near the city. She loves to hide in bushes and under trees. The fox is a real sweet tooth and can eat everything. She loves to catch small mice and also hunts birds and bunnies. And in summer, it will not refuse tasty berries and insects. The fox can bark like a small dog or even squeal, and sometimes it whines quietly. The next animal, the gray wolf or the gray robber. The wolf is a large forest dweller. It lives in the thickest, most remote corners of the forests, where there are many large trees and it is completely quiet. The wolf is a very strong predator. It hunts large animals such as wild boars, deer, or elk. And sometimes it can eat a bunny, or even a small mouse if it gets very hungry. Wolves like to howl at the moon, and they can also growl loudly or bark when they see someone. And then we have the brown bear, or the little bear sweetheart. Our little bear lives high in the Carpathian Mountains and in the forests of northern Ukraine, where there are many trees and caves for sleeping. The bear loves sweets very much. He adores berries, looks for tasty mushrooms, roots, and he can also feast on fish that he catches himself, or small bugs. The bear can roar loudly when he is angry, or growl softly when he eats something tasty. And he also sniffs his nose funny. Next in our group, the common lynx or the invisible lynx. The lynx is a very cautious cat. It lives in very, very dense forests in the north of Ukraine and in the Carpathians, where no one sees it. The lynx hunts roe deer, hares, and birds. It is very agile and can quickly catch up with its prey. The lynx purrs like a large domestic cat, but can also hiss if someone scares it. And when it is very angry, it roars loudly. Then we have wild boar, and some call him little boar Kryukalchik. Wild boar lives in our forests, likes to hide in bushes and near swamps. He can be found almost all over Ukraine. The little boar loves to dig the ground with his nose. He looks for tasty roots, acorns, nuts, and even worms and bugs there. He can also eat almost everything. The little boar grunts and grunts loudly, and when he gets really scared, he can scream. Next we have European roe deer. Our roe deer lives in forests and groves, where there is a lot of grass and young bushes. He can be found all over Ukraine. The roe deer is a real vegetarian. She eats only grass, young leaves, and tree branches. The roe deer can bark like a dog when something scares her, and it also squeaks softly or sniffs with its nose. Next, red deer or beautiful deer. Deer live in large forests, especially in the Carpathians and in the north of Ukraine. It is a very majestic animal. Deer are also vegetarians. They really like tasty grass, leaves, and young bark from trees. Deer can roar very loudly, especially when calling their friends. And they can also squeak softly. And you already know him, the hare-brown hare, and you can call him long-eared jumper. Our hare-brown hare lives in fields, steppes, and forest glades. He really likes to hide in the grass. The hare eats grass, young shoots, tree bark, and in winter he can even visit the garden to enjoy delicious cabbage. The bunny is usually silent, but when it is very hurt or scared, it can squeak quietly. And we don't know this inhabitant yet. The European badger, or I also call it, the clean badger. The badger lives in forests, likes to hide in deep holes that it digs for itself. It can be found all over Ukraine. The badger loves worms and insects that it digs out of the ground. It also eats frogs, small mice, berries and roots. It is also omnivorous. The badger can grunt quietly when looking for food or growl, and if you scare it, it squeaks. And you may already know this inhabitant, the European beaver or the builder beaver. The beaver is a real engineer. It lives near rivers and lakes where there is a lot of water and trees. Beavers love to eat the bark of young trees, especially willows and aspens. They also feast on aquatic plants. Beavers can slap their tail loudly on the water. This is their special alarm signal. And they also hiss or squeak softly. And the next one we have, river otter. The otter loves water very much. It lives on the banks of rivers, lakes, and ponds. It swims and dives perfectly. The otter is a real fisherman. It eats fish, frogs, crayfish, and water insects. The otter can squeak or whistle softly, and when it is angry, it growls hoarsely. And I think you have already seen this inhabitant, the white-bellied hedgehog, and I call him the hedgehog prickly. The hedgehog lives in forests, gardens, parks. It can even be found near houses. The hedgehog loves to eat insects, slugs, and worms, and it can also feast on frogs or bird eggs if it finds them. The hedgehog puffs and sniffs its nose very funny when it is looking for food, and when it is scared, it can growl. Next, eared owl, and many say wise owl. The owl lives in forests and parks. It is a nocturnal bird, so it is difficult to notice it during the day. The owl hunts small mice and insects. It sees very well in the dark. The owl can hoot quietly and also squeak. Sometimes it clicks its beak. Next, let's talk about the white stork or long-legged stork. The stork is a bird that often lives near people, on the roofs of houses, or on poles. It also loves fields, meadows, and swamps. The stork really likes to eat frogs, insects, mice, and fish. The stork does not sing songs, but knocks loudly with its beak. This is called a croak. The last animal for today will be the spotted woodpecker. The woodpecker lives in forests and parks. It is very easy to hear him because he is always knocking on something. The woodpecker is a real doctor for trees. He knocks out harmful insects from under the bark, and he also loves the seeds of cones. The woodpecker drums very loudly with his beak on the tree. So what, kids? Did you like our trip to the world of wildlife today? I really do. And do you remember all our new friends? Let's check, I'll ask, and you try to guess who it's about. Who is this cunning and red-haired guy who loves to catch mice in the forest and in the field? That's right, this is our cunning fox. And who is this big and strong guy who howls at the moon in the thickest forests? Yes, this is our gray wolf. And what kind of bear loves sweet berries and lives high in the Carpathians? Of course, this is our sugar bear. Who is this cautious cat, which is almost impossible to see in the thick bushes? That's right, this is the invisible lynx. Who likes to dig the ground with their nose and look for roots and acorns? That's right, that's Pig Kryukalchik. Who's this vegetarian from the woods who barks like a dog when something scares her? Well done! That's Deer Stribulka. What a handsome guy who can roar very loudly and wears big horns on his head. Yes, that's Deer Stribulka. Who's this long-eared jumper who likes to hide in the grass in the fields? Of course, that's Long-Eared Bunny. And who's this clean guy who lives in deep holes and looks for worms? Yes, that's Badger Chistulia, and who's this real engineer who builds huts from branches near rivers? That's right! This is our beaver builder. Which animal loves water very much and is a real fisherman? Yes, this is the otter swimmer. Who is this prickly friend who puffs his nose and hunts insects? Of course! This is our hedgehog Prickly. What wise night bird lurks in the forest and sees perfectly in the dark? Yes, this is the owl Wise. Who is this long-legged bird who knocks with his beak and often lives near people? That's right. This is our stork, long-legged. And the last animal. Who is this real doctor for trees who drums loudly with his beak? Well done. This is our woodpecker doctor. You are so smart. You remember all our wild friends wonderfully. I am very glad that we spent this time together and learned so much new things. Thank you for traveling with me. See you again in the world of wild animals of Ukraine. Bye-bye.